Hey there again, YouTube. Corey here. As you guys can see, this is not the final piece. This is not the final piece for my neck covering for my Green Lantern costume. This is, I guess, a prototype. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm gonna go about making this particular piece. I tried just laying the model on the green fabric that I'm going to be using as the main chest piece that I showed you guys in my previous video, and just seeing how that would, I guess, work. I'm really not trying to sew along the bend. I kind of want it to be I want it to look fluid, I guess, or just natural. So instead I'm going to try and glue it. I really don't want to do that, especially if how I mentioned in my previous video, if I put too much contact cement on one spot, it's going to end up seeping through. I need to be very careful with that. But again, this is just a prototype, and this right here is, other than the bunched up bits here and all along this piece, this looks pretty damn good. It's two pieces of craft foam. You have the whole centerpiece, and then you have this strip just coming along, adding a little accent to it. And it's just it looks, to me, it really looks like armor. It just looks like something that would be on a Green Lantern's uniform. So I'm gonna not really put it on, but I'm gonna show you guys how it's gonna look. It kind of makes me feel like I'm wearing a neck brace. So just by I don't know what the word is, but just by instinct, by body instinct, my neck just kind of tenses up, and it feels like I can't really move my head much. But seeing as this is foam, see, it's just foam. Seeing as this is foam, it's, it bends real easily with how, with the movement of my neck, and it going on with the costume, it's gonna, I honestly feel it's going to just really work. So this is what it's gonna look like. Just a practice piece here. So kind of makes me feel a little like Batman. If I know in the comics he had, at one point he did have a Green Lantern ring, and then he had a yellow lantern ring, which suits him more. But in the original design that I had for this neck piece, it was way thicker. It was probably about this thick, which really would not leave me much room for mobility. It would have been very uncomfortable. Not to mention, all the way in the back, this was much higher. It rested right underneath my ear, and it was just I guess at the base of my skull. It was probably about up to here, if you guys can see where my finger is at. But just generally, all around general, it was not a good model. It wasn't a good template. So I pretty much just shaved it down numerous times. I think I worked on this maybe I think I have maybe 3 or 4 different iterations of how I wanted this neck piece to the size of it, until I got to this. And I am very happy with how this feels, with how this looks. And one thing I will say though, I was walking around with this on, just taped closed. I was walking around with this on for maybe about 10 minutes or so, and it's very hot. Neoprene is just god awful. So I know when I have the costume all put together and everything, and I'm walking around at Comic-Con just wearing this thing, my neck is going to be pretty hot. I can kind of feel it getting a little toasty right now. But so yeah, this is how it looks. I kind of took that out of I believe his channel is Adam Tested. I may be wrong about that, but those that cosplay know his channel. Major shout out to you, man, because I saw that video that you made on how you made Kylo Ren's Gorget and how you was going about making the template for that. So, you know, you basically gave me the idea of how to make the neck piece for my Green Lantern outfit instead of it just like lying real low down at the base of my neck. So thank you so much for that. But this part, the raised part, that was just like a spur of the moment idea. I was, you know, it was just like a piece of scrap. It was just scrap fabric that was left over after or not fabric, scrap material that was left over after I had made the initial neck piece. And I just got the idea, you know, like, yeah, it's gonna look nice in the like wrapped up in the fabric and whatnot, but it's just gonna look a little bland. So like it needs a little something to make it pop a little more. And I was playing around with, you know, like the scrap material, and I just had that idea. Let me put an overlay on the main neck piece and see how that works. And so that's what I did. And the way that I got it to look like this, again, I'm using barge cement. This stuff is awesome. I'm using barge cement, and what I did was, after I had glued the raised piece on the main, I took I initially had a little bit of contact cement out on the edges, or like outside of the overlay. And I took some fabric, or obviously the fabric that's on here, and I kind of traced out, like I laid another scrap piece that's like the same size as this overlay onto the fabric, traced over that using fabric chalk. So yes, fabric chalk. This is really good for lighter colors, obviously, you know, like your whites, greens, or reds, or white and black would work on a red, but for the green I just used black because it was a lot easier for me to see, and it was just a lot easier for me to work with. So I took the contact cement and I kind of went over the spot that, like, on the inside of the area where I traced over the overlay, and I kind of went on the outside a little bit of the overlay trace, and I kind of did the same thing on the main part of the neck piece. I just went over, just like on the outer edges with the contact cement. That way the contact cement on the outer edge of the trace and on the main piece of the neck would overlap with each other, and all I would have to do is just push it down to get that raised look. So this is basically just super tucked, glued fabric on craft foam, and it looks really good. Again, aside from like all these extra flaps and whatnot, this looks really, really good. I'm really happy with how, and again, this is just a practice piece. This is just a prototype. So hopefully the main one is gonna be this piece, and I'm pretty much doing the same thing that I did with this. So like you guys can see, like the little bit of contact cement just like on the outer edge. I'm gonna have to go over it again with more contact cement once I'm ready to put fabric onto this. But I still need to like trim the edges a little bit. As you can see, I have like excess material. This was one thing that I was actually afraid of, because earlier I had this piece did not have no contact cement on the opposite side. There was contact cement on this piece though. and I just laid the top part onto the main part, and I just like kind of just like let it sit there, so it didn't like solidly adhere to the main part, but it was stuck on there good enough. But I wanted it to be on there and secure, so I just, you know, took it off and I put some contact cement on the opposite side, and then I laid it on. And when I did that, or before I did that, if you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can make it out, but I traced along the edge of, maybe you guys can see it up here. Yeah, there you go. If you guys can see that ink, I pretty much traced along the edge of the second piece to get where I needed to lay it down onto the main neck. And after I put the contact cement on and everything, I lined up this edge over here, and then I started laying it on. But I guess as I was laying it on, the top piece started stretching out a little more, so that's what caused me to end up with this excess material. So not only do I need to cut off the excess material, I also need to, like, I guess, like, shave it down a little more to make it a little even, and hopefully it comes out looking really good. If it doesn't, I have a whole roll of craft foam that I can just start over. I have my template. This is, I labeled it outer neck guard and inner neck guard. So I have my templates. I can have as many neck pieces as I need. But yeah, so this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be real fun. So yeah, was just a quick update on the process, or the progress, I should say, of my Green Lantern outfit. Pretty soon I'm gonna start cutting up the fabric that I have the arms and the legs on, so that I can pretty much sew the entire costume together. That's gonna be coming up within like the next, honestly, I would say like the next couple of weeks. You know, I'm a little busy with work, it's tiring and whatnot, so like the adult life that life calls for, you know, it's just a little much right now. So I'm slowly but surely getting to my costume. Last year, I made the mistake of waiting 2 months before I actually even started my costume. Okay, so I started this costume a lot earlier, gave me some time to, you know, like relax, be lazy, think of ideas on how certain things would work, and so on and so forth. And this time, you know, it's not even July yet, and I'm almost done with my costume. So again, I still need to do this. I still need to get the fabric the way that I need it to be, which is, after I get it to look like this but much cleaner, have excess fabric down on the bottom and on the sides, so that I can sew the bottom onto my costume and sew the zipper onto the sides, because the zipper is going to go all the way up to the top of the neck piece. But other than that, I just need to make another casting of my face, so I can make a mold of my face, so I can make the mask, and I need to make another ring, and that's about it. But I will keep you guys posted. And again, you know, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it if you would like, hit that subscribe button, and leave your comments down below. I need that feedback, be it positive or negative. It will definitely help me out, you guys. So with that being said, I'm gonna sign off. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.